Hi, everybody. Hope everyone's doing well. I just want to come on today and talk about something that people are asking me about. And what I've learned by now is that if a few people have a question, that a lot more of you will have the same question out there. And I would like to just help as many people as I possibly can. So, the question that I'm getting asked quite a bit in the last few weeks is how do you move from being in development circles, practice circles, classes, and setting up your own practice sessions for mediumship or healing, whatever sort of spirit work you're doing. How do you move from there to semi-professional, professional level? And how do you make that leap? So the first question I have, usually to anyone who asks me this question, is why are you doing this? There certainly are easier things to do with your life. There certainly are less polarizing things you can do without getting this intense reaction back if you say you're a medium and just the prejudices and people think we're nuts and all that. But why are you doing this? Why are you choosing this road? And if the answer is, I have no choice, this is what I am, this is what I want to do, that's the answer that you need. But what is the intention? If the intention is really just to feed your ego and be a star, and you look at the TV mediums or the famous mediums, the brand mediums, and you want to sort of be like them up here, and you want to fill the seats, and your main concern is really ego, fame, or money, then I don't really feel that's the right intention. I feel the true intention is really to be of service and to help people. And at the end of the day, and I've said this a lot in my classes, it's really down to four things what mediumship is. Questions you ask yourself when you're doing a reading. Does it provide healing? Is it coming from love? Is it purposeful? And are you leaving the sitter feeling uplifted? If you just stick to these four things and the intention to be of service to humanity, to the spirit world, and to God, then I think you're on the right track. But you have to be honest with yourself why you're doing it. If it's something, like I said, that's really feeding your ego, or you're looking at your bank account to fill it and get as many seats filled as you possibly can and charge, I feel, far too much money sometimes for readings or running classes, then you have to kind of think. And I don't really feel that the spirit world will sort of channel that power and energy behind you if the intention is not pure. So at the end of the day, the intention is really to help and to be of service. I'm going to paraphrase a bit, but Silver Birch has a really lovely saying where he talks about the true meaning of religion is to be of service, to help, to provide charity, to provide comfort, to help people. And if you just keep this intention to be of service and that you want to help on the power of love and compassion, the quote goes on to say, you start to attract beautiful spirit beings that probably in their physical existence on earth, they also were healers or doctors or doing something to help humanity. And you attract your light, your intention attracts this light from the spirit, and then they all come and join you, and they push you forward. They remove obstacles from your path, not challenges. We need challenges because those are opportunities to learn and develop, but they really help you, and they siphon their power and their energy to you to move you to the next level. What I've really learned, and I like this quote. I believe I wrote it down. So it's Matthew chapter 19, verse 26. Just I took a small part of it. It's with God, everything is possible. So I really live by that. With God, everything is possible. With the Spirit, everything is possible if you allow it to ebb and flow the way it's supposed to go. Meaning, you can't control freak this. You can't control what spirit's going to move you towards or where spirit is going to put their energy. So you have to develop the sensitivity to feel where the energy is going. And that's the right way to go. You honestly get there by trying many things, and you see where the energy is going, where the power is going, what direction your path is illuminated towards. So you cannot control what spirit intends for you to do. So you have to remain open. It's like, no, I am a platform medium. That's what I want to do. But if spirit thinks that you're better to be a healer, better served to be a healer, they're going to keep nudging you towards being a healer. So you have to just be aware. And I feel it can come across as like intuition. It can come across as just being aware of where the power is going, and you just go that way. And that's what I've learned a long time ago with this work is hello, I'm a former control freak, definitely in my past life, in my past and my old career, definitely had to control everything. It was about organizing, it was about money, it was about all these things. So in the beginning of my development and my journey, I really tried to control it. And when I tried to control it, even to this day, I still make this mistake. Sometimes I want to do something, and if it's not sort of sanctioned by spirit, I can feel the energy just dropping. And that's my sign for stop, do nothing, just wait and see where the power is going. And I let them really drive this car. I am just a passenger here, and I just go where they want me to go. And my job is really just to be as clear and pure as a vessel as I possibly can be, and just to allow them to work through me in whatever way they deem correct for me. But saying all that, go back to your development. Are you practicing as much as you possibly can? Are you giving it your all? Are you dedicating yourself to this? Do you understand that this is a sacred calling? That you need to enter into spirit work with a sense of reverence, like going into a church or a temple or a sacred site. That's what this is, because at the end of the day, we as mediums or as healers, we really hold the well-being of the sitter or the healee in our hands. And I've heard far too many stories where people will tell me about having a mediumship reading, and the medium just says these things that really derail them. Your mother's mad at you in spirit. She's holding a grudge. She's not happy with you, and I don't think any of that has to do with spirit. Your mother's not pleased with who you're marrying, and or your father's trapped, and we need to rescue him. Spirit rescue, all this stuff. I think is nonsense. I think the spirit will take care of their own. So, but I've heard far too many stories where people will be completely derailed off their path. Some mediums have said to sitters, if they're mediums as well, oh, you lost your power, your guides left, things like that, which I think is complete nonsense. You have to really be careful with what you're doing. Do no harm. We are here to do no harm. We're here to help. So think about that. If you're bringing through things that the sitter is getting upset, and they're leaving the sitting feeling worse than they felt when they come in, there's something wrong. I think the point of a sitting is to help, to leave the sitter feeling uplifted and hopeful. So I think all of this other stuff, this negative stuff, this dark stuff that can come through, or people think it comes from spirit, I feel this comes from the medium. So, and there's a lot of healing to do with that medium, I feel. So if all that is good, if your intention is clear, you allow spirit just to put the energy where it needs to go, and you just are aware of the signs or where the energy is being raised, then you can just get into the flow of it, and you're developing and you're practicing and you're working on your abilities and your craft, and you're building your stamina, and you're aware of building your power, and you feel the presence of spirit. All these things that comes into play for spirit then to deem you ready to move up to the next level. Okay, there are times when you get up to the next level and you might take 2 steps back, and then 1 step forward, 2 steps, 3 steps back. That's all part of development. I think they're working below the surface a lot of times, and we're not aware of the progression we're making. So you have to, don't get discouraged by that. Take it. It's part of the course. It's part of the education. Just, okay, well, those last 2 readings didn't go that well. Don't get discouraged. Get right back on the horse. Do another reading. Do 2 more readings. You're only as good as your next reading. Keep going. But if the readings really bomb, and that happens to everybody, you need to go within yourself and say, why wasn't that reading up to my standards? Why was it bad? Usually it has something to do with your mindset. What was your mindset going into the reading? Are you nervous? Were you a bit scared? Were you not in a good mood? Perhaps you didn't sleep well. Perhaps you drank a few too many drinks last night. I don't know. It's all also body chemistry as well. But you have to be honest with your development and go. But if you're ready, you feel you're ready. I feel the next step is always, well, where is spirit going to channel their power? Where are they going to put their energy? So what are you doing? Because it's a partnership. You can't just sit there on the couch and say, I just want to be professional in semi-professional reading. I just want to bring in paid readings. I just want to teach classes, and just sit there on the couch and channel surf. You know, at least get outside, get on the porch and give spirit a chance to work with you. It's like I said, it's a partnership. So you have to always meet them halfway with your intention, with your just ability to get out there into the world and market yourself to a point and create. What are you creating that spirit is going to start sending their energy to? Did you build a website? Do you at least have a domain name paid for? Do you have a Facebook business page set up? Just you set all these things up. And yes, they might be set up and then they just stay in limbo for a bit, but you've created a space for spirit to move their power to. And then you can see it start happening. But I think a lot of times people say, well, how am I going to get there? How am I going to do that? How is that going to happen? I don't understand how I'm going to get from here to here. And how am I going to get in clients? And how am I going to, do healings? And how can I build this? It's all about the how. What I've learned also a long time ago, don't worry about the how. It's not your job. That's their job. They will work it out for you if you meet them halfway with your intention and your desire to help. They will match that. So it is, you really get as much as you give. You get all the rewards if you put the effort in. Okay, but it's sort of like when you have a lot of single people. I just want to meet Mr. Right. I just want to meet Mrs. Right. And a lot of times they're like, well, are you dating? Are you on any dating apps? No, but it'll come to me. They'll come to me when I'm ready. I'm like, no, you have to go out, do something. You have to also do something. You can't just sit there and wait for something to happen. You have to always match the energy with the intention. So and the intention is to serve and to work as much as you possibly can. So don't worry about the how. Spirit will work that out when they deem you ready, not when you think you're ready. And that's the most frustrating part of that. With my journey, I definitely had times about 5 or 6 years ago where I really wanted to move into just doing professional readings, just going out and teach. And I set some workshops up, nothing, crickets, like nothing. So is it frustrating? Yeah, it is. But what did I learn from that? I learned to wait. Obviously, I'm not ready yet. Not everyone's meant to teach. They will let you know when you're ready to teach. And that's what I kept hearing. Just wait, keep going. I mean, I saw and I felt and I heard from my guides that will be the destination. But what the journey is, I just go. I try to ride the tide of spirit, and I just let them sort of drive the boat or steer the boat. So don't worry so much about the how, but make the effort to get out there and set the intention to work and to be of service. So you have to be honest with yourself. What are you doing to sort of reach this goal? Create the space for spirit to put the power. Do as many readings as you possibly can. Learn from every reading. A lot of spiritual teachings, reading a lot of spiritual teachings, Silver Birch, Red Cloud, Spirit Teachings by William Stanton Moses is a great book. It's just a lot of guidance and counsel from the spirit world. Ramadan, who is the spirit guide of Ursula Roberts. Just spiritualize yourself. Just understand that true religion is to be of service and to help. And then you just have to see, but listen to what the spirit world is telling you. It's a little self-indulgent, but my story is as such that, I sat in circles, I took a lot of workshops, I went to a lot of retreats, not just mediumship, but also meditation retreats, soul searching retreats, and I just kept going. And then I took a lot of mediumship workshops in the UK and in America as well. And I just kept practicing. Do as many practice readings as you can. And I've told the story before in some classes, but I'm a huge meditator. I like meditation. I like what it brings to me, which is just inner peace. And I can hear the spirit world more. And I can also hear my own spirit more when I go into a place when I'm passive and just receptive. But I think it was right after I tried to arrange these workshops and tried to bring paying clients in. And it was just like crickets, like nothing. And I kept hearing, do 100 readings in meditation. And I came out of the meditation and I was just like, what? 100 readings? I've done like hundreds of readings. I have to do another 100 readings? That's crazy. That's my mind. So it still continued, still sat in development circles, practiced as much as I could, went to workshops. And every time I went into meditation, at the end of it, where are the 100 readings? Commit yourself to do 100 readings. And this is way before Zoom. So I was still setting up readings on Skype or Facebook Messenger or FaceTime. And it was just when the mediumship group started to appear on Facebook. So we're probably talking like, I don't know, more than 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And I like, okay, so finally, I think, I'm quite dense sometimes. I think after maybe the fifth or sixth times of hearing do 100 readings, and I think it was probably in May or in June, I was like, oh, okay, fine. So I went onto these mediumship Facebook practice pages, and I said, summer of 100 readings. I like to set up 100 readings for June, July, August, and these are for free and for feedback. And I still wasn't sure what this was, but right away I started to get tons of interest. Obviously, they're free readings, but I would like a reading. I would like a reading. I would like a reading. So I just started filling up, bringing up my calendar on my computer and filling in, when I had the sessions. And I heard from Spirit, keep doing this, and your calendar will look like that moving forward. And I still was like, okay, but it's free readings. What is this going to bring me? And I also was sort of inspired to have a reading book, a mediumship reading book, journal. So I wrote, 1 out of 100, first reading, went into it a bit nervous, meditated half an hour before, sat in my power, and just sort of like I just sort of dissected, how I felt about the sitter, how encouraging the sitter was or receptive to the reading, if it was a good sitter, a bad sitter, how I felt, how I did in the reading, what I got, what I didn't get, what I heard in the feedback that I sort of knew and I didn't say, give what you get. And I rated it out of, whatever, 1 to 10. And usually for me, because I'm really hard on myself, I probably like 7.5, 8. If it was really good, maybe I stretched it and gave myself like a 9, rarely. But I did this. It was the whole summer. It's really all I did. I just did readings. I wasn't working. I took time off from my old career, which I felt fading away anyway. But 2 out of 100, 3 out of 100, 4, 5, 6. I kept going. And I probably got to about, I don't know, 60, 65 readings, keeping my journal, filling up my calendar, just kept going. Some were great, some weren't so great. Some sitters were good, some weren't, as usual. And I got to about, like 65, 70, I guess. And then something shifted. And then it changed. And then all of a sudden, a lot of these readings I was doing, the sitters would then message me or email me and say, I have a friend who would like a reading. How much do you charge? Oh, my sister would like a reading. How much do you charge? Can I give her your name? Do you take PayPal? Do you take, this was way before Venmo, do you take Zelle? How can we pay you? All these things. And then I started to see the traction start to pick up. And then I started to bring in the paid readings. And that was really when it flipped. And what dawned on me, because I'm a bit dense, like I said, it dawned on me it wasn't so much the 100 readings, it was me dedicating myself to doing it and to listening to Spirit and to trusting and just doing it with faith and surrendering myself to them and their wisdom and their counsel, because they're always right. And then it started to take off. And then I did those for a long time, the paid readings, kept doing those. And then I heard offer free meditation and attunement groups, classes. And I'm like, free? Again, free? What? How many free things do I need to do? I spent so much money on my development and classes and books and travel. And what is this? So, but whatever. By that point, I learned and I just said, okay. And this is probably in the beginning of Zoom. So I had to learn Zoom. And then I started to offer like Meet Your Spirit Guide, tour of the spirit world. But that's what I like to do. And I thought that would be a good way to sort of start to spread these seeds to allow them to germinate and see what comes from them. And from those came interest in terms of, do you teach classes? Do you offer individual mentorships? These things. And that's really when it worked itself into this nice flow that I find myself in now. And I say that with gratitude and wonder. But it all had to do with just trust and surrender and not knowing why or how it's going to move from this level to that level, but just to trust. So it's not how long it takes. It's just being prepared for the opportunity and listening to the spirit world and just let them guide you. Take the hand of spirit and allow them to guide you. My story is unique because that's my story. Yours will be different, but I think the main component in it is to trust and surrender, and don't let your ego guide your direction. Don't think I just want to be the best. I want to be the best medium in the world and people to love me and all these things. That's really not the right intention and energy to put into this, I feel. Some people do, but I feel the correct intention, like I said, is to be of service and to help and just to listen. All I can do. The only thing I feel that I'm good at is I can move myself out of the way when I'm doing readings, when I'm doing assessments, when I'm teaching these classes or sessions, opened or not. I can just get out of the way and allow spirit to sort of guide me. So when I teach, probably I'm giving away all my secrets here, but when I teach, I have no outline. I have no curriculum. I don't know. And if you ask me what we're doing in the next class, usually I don't know. I have to sort of read the energy in the room, and then they sort of say, okay, well, I thought I was going to do color readings, but now I'm hearing I should do deepening the message or deepening the evidence with a group. So I just let them do it, and they're actually teaching through me, and they're talking through me in a reading anyway. So I know that I'm just good at getting myself out of the way, and for me, it's a good time. I get a break from myself for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever, and that's like a gift to me. So just allow yourself to trust the spirit world and God, because there's nothing that you can't do with God's help, but you have to meet it halfway with your intention and the desire to help and to be of service. So just listen to that. Listen to the whispers, the intuition, to your guides, just nudging you forward. And if you don't know your guides, just go by your intuition at this point. And I always say this, I'm still not sure what the difference is between my intuition and what my guides are sort of impressing through me and to me. Okay. So I hope that helps, but it's at the end of the day, all you have to do is take the hand of spirit and trust spirit intelligence, because they know way better than we are. And though I feel that only God can really predict the future fully, the spirit world can see a bit further than we can from the spirit world and through their spirit eyes than we do here in the physical world, in the matter world on earth. So at this point, I don't question anymore. I listen to them. And yeah, so look, if I could do it, you can do it. Just trust spirit, trust God, and more importantly, trust yourself, because you have to have confidence in yourself that you have something to offer the world, and that you have something that you want to give humanity and give to God and give to the spirit world. Okay, so I hope that helps. I talked a bit too much about myself, which I try to stay away from, but I thought that that example sort of fit well into this video. Okay, I wish everyone a lovely day. I send you all my love, and be well. Bye.